Okay guys, so once again, welcome to my shop. Today we got a 70 horse Yamaha. It's on this little skiff, not sure what brand, maybe a Sundance skiff, but it's a little overpowered in my opinion, but he says this thing flies. I don't know the exact speed, but he's got the engine pretty high. He really needs a low water pickup on it, but he says that he does all right. So it's been sitting for about a year, and he wanted me to go through the carburetors again. And that's what we're going to do today, is clean the carburetors on a 70 horse Yamaha. It's like a pretty clean motor on the outside. And fairly clean on the inside, not bad. So 3-cylinder engines. They make this in a 60 and a 70, maybe a 55 commercial, but this is the larger version of it, the 70 horse, and these are pretty good motors. A lot of guys really like them. I don't know the exact year of this one. All the decals have been painted over. And not quite smart enough to guess. I'd say maybe mid to late 90s. Alright, so this is our air box. Let's see if it's got some hydraulic steering on here. That's helpful, unless you're trying to shift the engine. Alright, it's got a lot of air in the steering. I have to do something about that. Transom saver. So he's got his batteries on. Batteries are very low. So what I'm going to do while I clean these cars is put the batteries on a charger for them. Will help me out in the end. We're trying to crank it up, and he gets his boat back with a charged battery. So win-win. I can see the gel seal in between this block. It means somebody's rebuilt this block at one point in time. Gel seal is it's an anabolic compound. I can't even pronounce the word, anaerobic, whatever it is. It's a gel compound that we use to seal two metal case halves together. It's used on some motorcycles as well. That's how you seal the case half on an outboard, and from the factory they're very clean. You won't see the gel seal 99% of the time, but when you see the gel seal sticking out like this, it's real pronounced. That's generally because this has been rebuilt before. So he did mention that this was rebuilt a few years ago, and he says it ran great, and he just wants the carbs cleaned because he knows it's been sitting and that's what it needs. Looks like our batteries right here. Get a charger on it. It's actually one of my favorite little portable battery chargers right here. I've got a large charger, but I use this on almost everything I do. It's got 30 amp, 100 amp, does AGMs, lithiums. It's a smart charger. It's powerful and it's fast. It's honestly probably as powerful as my large charger, and it really does a good job. It's easy to carry. It's made by Schumacher. And I like this one a lot. Bought it one time when we were out on a kayaking trip, and I have a motorized kayak with trolling motors, and my battery was low, and we were sharing a charger, so I decided that it was time for a new small charger. So I ran to maybe Walmart or somewhere, And I picked this up, I don't remember the price, maybe 120 bucks, but I use it all the time here at work and really glad I bought it. Alright, let's see, turn it on. Comes on automatically, tells me my voltage. We'll switch it to standard battery and 30 amp and go. Alright, so when I'm done with these carbs, that battery should be fully charged. Let's go ahead and steer our engine. We're going to have to look at the steering as well. A lot of people think they're just low on fluid, but fluid doesn't evaporate. If you're low on fluid, almost always it's leaking somewhere. It's possible it could have developed air somehow over time. It's not very likely, but anything is possible in a boating world. Okay, so I'm going to need a Phillips driver to pull my air box off, and looks like 10 millimeter buzz gun, 10 millimeter open end, and some needle nose. Some cutters for good measure. My needle nose are over here in this big pile of tools from yesterday's work that I haven't put away yet. Alright, 10 millimeter swivel. 10 millimeter straight. It's probably still on the gun. Okay. And some needle nose. I got those. 10 millimeter open end. That'll work. Okay. Handy dandy cart. And a rag. And let's get this party started. Okay, so to remove these carburetors, first thing you're going to do is hit these 4 screws. This will release your air box. On oil injected models, there should be an oil tank mounted over here on the side. Usually you got to unbolt that, and I usually pull that to the side and zip tie it up so it doesn't spill, and it gives us more clearance here. He's already bypassed the oil injection on this one, so we don't have to worry about that today. Next thing I'm going to do is pull my linkage off of here. This is my throttle linkage. I'm going to go easy with this so we don't snap the plastic ends. I usually take a pair of dikes upside down and just kind of shift it. Be the day that I break it trying to make a video. Okay, so take a pair of needle nose, get up underneath it lightly, and just shift it up. There's one. Go to the second one. Third one, you can usually just shimmy the linkage, but I don't have an extra linkage for this if I break it, and parts for these old two-strokes are getting hard to find. I don't want to search all over town or order one, so don't break it. Okay, after we've got our linkage off, I'm going to start with the top carb, 2 10 millimeter bolts. At this point you can actually get the carb out of the way, but I go ahead and pull some more. Okay, the bottom one's down here a little bit harder to get to. That's where the swivel comes in. On this side you'll see the center carburetor has the enrichment valve on it for the choke system, and that carb is the most complex of the three. So you're going to pull your clamp off. To get a stubborn fuel line off, I generally grab it right over the fitting and kind of turn it. Once you get them turning a little bit, that helps it to release. It can make life a lot easier. If you try to force or pry it off there, most of the time you'll rip or tear the fuel line. These lines are in pretty good shape. They're a little dry, but they're not bad, and these Yamaha lines really last a long time. And get underneath with a pair of cutting pliers lightly up against the carburetor and just start to lift it. There we go. And that is our first carburetor. And I'm going to go ahead and loosen the bottoms as well so I don't have to fight this bracket. Swivel will work there. It may not work on the bottom one. A lot of times you'll have to use the open end wrench. But we can try it, right? Got lucky. Okay. So you will not be able to get these bolts in or out while the carburetor is intact. You're going to have to pick up on the carburetor and you can lift up above it. Keep that in mind when you put these carburetors back together. You need to have those bolts started as you bring it down. Otherwise you're going to be pulling the carbs back off. So the bottom carb is the one that needs to go on first. You can take these on and off in all one assembly. Some people do that. For video purposes, I'm going to do one at a time. Same deal on this middle one. We're going to press our clamp in and walk it back. Okay. Let's see if we can get our line to spin a little bit if possible. It's real tight in here. Alright. Take my cutting pliers. Behind it, pop it off. Okay, got a choke solenoid on here. What I like to do is undo these screws and take this off and bring this assembly with me. For this, I recommend getting a smaller screwdriver and don't use the buzz gun on it, because you don't want to lose one of these little screws. They're hard to find and they're pretty specific. Okay, there's one. And you guys are going to love this. Wife upgraded the Roombas, the robots at the house to clean the floor, and she was going to throw one out. I said, whoa, hold on. He's coming to the shop. This is my shop robot. I'm thinking about doing a like an outboard on top of them. I got a good feeling it's probably going to tear this thing up, but super curious how this works. What did he find here? Moving metal pieces around the shop. I haven't figured out what to name them yet, and I think it'd be kind of cool with a little outboard on top of them. So catch my videos back for my robot outboard motor. Yeah, poor guy. He had it good at the house. But hoping it works. Always wanted to try it, I just didn't want to buy one. Okay, so our second screw. And don't lose these screws. Trust me on that one. Let's pick our solenoid up, bring it off to the side. And over here, we've got our line that goes into here. I actually just usually pull it off of the carburetor itself. To do that, once again, you've got your metal clamps or whatever clamps that your motor has on it. You want to pick those up. These things are a real pain to squeeze. I actually bought some pliers one time for something like this. I think I'm going to try them. Pretty good at buying stuff off the truck and not ever using it sometimes. These snap-on pliers, they've got grooves inside of them for different kind of clips. So theoretically it should grab this clip and not let it turn and squeeze it. Wow, that actually works pretty good. Sometimes I guess you gotta look in the toolbox. Alright, I'm cutting pliers right up under there, flush with the surface. Not gonna spin this one, these are simple. Okay, so that's off. We got one more here, which is a vacuum pulse line, which feeds the assembly here. I'm trying my snappy pliers again. That's pretty cool. They don't always work though because of the angles of things, but they worked really good just then. And not quite as much here, but I thought that they may come in handy one day, and they were pretty cheap. They were like 56 bucks. And honestly, it's hard to get anything off the snap-on truck for $56 anymore. I think the last thing I bought was a knee pad to kneel down on, and it was about 50 bucks. So I don't buy a lot of tools. I'm not rich, but I try to get what I need. Okay, there's our middle carb. And we're going to get our last carb now. We want to get our fuel line off of it. Same deal. Let's see if I get lucky with my fancy pliers. Okay, I think I might actually like these. That's a lot easier than fighting a pair of needle nose back and forth. Okay, and get my fuel line to spin. And then take my cutters, get behind them, and pop it off. Alright, that's it. 3 carbs off. Let's take them to the bench, see what we can do. Man, I can't believe that thing is I'm curious to see what's in that thing when I'm done. It's got bolts in it and all kinds of zip ties, and who knows. Alright, so I think this is our top carb. Let's go through that one first. Man, it runs over extension cords. It don't care. I think I got a good one. Whoop, didn't like my carpet. You got this, man. Man, look, you got my carpet looking pretty good. Don't eat that extension cord. It's gonna hurt. Alright, get some reader glasses on and pull this carb apart. Take these apart. First thing you can do is pull the top screws, or whichever screws you choose. Okay, 3 screws. It's your top plate with the air mixture screw in it. Things I'm going to grab while I'm here is a good Phillips head and a small flathead. Flathead is to take out my air mixture screw. It's a good idea to count the amount of turns. I can reference them and put them back where they need to be, but he says this thing runs great, so see how many turns he had it at. 1, 1.5, 1.5 and a bump. Okay. I'm going to take our air mixture screws out. Okay, disassemble, flip it over. I also usually bring a glass jar with me while I'm doing carbs so I can dump them out, but these carbs were drained dry. There might be a little gas in the bottom one still. Yeah, stubborn screws that seem like they're going to strip or something like that, you're going to want to grab a regular Phillips head and try it. If you need be, you can grab a flat head. These screws will strip relatively easy. And if you notice, the screws for the top plate and the screws for the bowls are the same, so don't worry about getting them mixed up. If you're ever cleaning carburetors and you get kind of confused on which screws go where, a lot of times, like this top plate holds 3, so if these were different sizes, what you'd have is probably 3 in a different length and 4 in another length. Well, obviously the 4 are going to go here because there's 4 screw holes, whereas the 3 would go there. So something to think about if you ever get confused. But on this application, these screws are all the same length. Okay, got a little old fuel in there, but nothing, no dirt or no problems. All right. So anyways, now we're going to pull this set screw right here that holds the float on, and we're going to lift up on our float. The needle will come with it, don't lose the needle. This plug cap right here plugs jet. You take a small flathead screwdriver down into the jet and press down firmly so that you can turn it without stripping that jet out. You don't want to damage that jet any more than you have to. Try to go easy with it. Okay, there's one jet. And we've got our top jet. I'm going to need a larger flathead for this, and I'm going to bring a flashlight so I can show you guys. Okay. Little jet on the top. So should be our idle jet. There's an orifice tube on the inside of here. Pop that out. And you'll see in here these small holes along here, these are your idle jets. If your engine is having trouble idling, a lot of times these are all clogged up. It's basically like a straw. An outboard engine or a carburetor is almost like a broken straw in a drink. You know, if it's sucking air, it's not going to get the fuel. So some of these you'll have hairline cracks in them. On the Yamahas, I've never seen that. It's more prevalent on the Johnsons. But with that crack in there, it won't be able to suck this in. These create a vacuum type effect and it emits gas into the carburetor. These are not called orifice tubes. They have another scientific name, but I'm getting old and it seems like I keep forgetting the name of things. Anyways, this is our carburetor body. This carburetor was more dirty. I'd put it in the ultrasonic or something like that. I'm not a big fan of actual carburetor dip tanks unless necessary. I like ultrasonics. I usually get some good old carb cleaner and get it in here to start eating up some of that sticky fuel debris. I rinse my carburetor off and then I go and I blow all the orifices out. So keep in mind, what I'm doing here is cleaning the carburetors. I'm not rebuilding them. Rebuilding them can extend from simple gaskets, floats, needles, seats, all the way to welch plugs, washers. I mean, you can get real in depth if you chose to. But a carburetor that's working well, that's in good shape, it's not trashed, cleaning works real good. The goal in cleaning correctly, though, is to get everything out of it. You know. Even if you dip a carburetor, you're still going to need to wash it and blow it out. So first thing I'll do is I'll blow down in here. Don't stick your gun too hard down in here and damage the seat. Throw some air to it. Make sure nothing's stuck in there, no old fuel line or debris. Got our jets right here. This is our high speed. This one up here is our, this is an air mixture. If you'll open the thing, you can see. Use a flashlight too when you're cleaning carbs and try to look for through the passages the best you can. A lot of times you'll see things that you couldn't see if you didn't. Make sure our air makes through. Body is clean. Do our bowl. Usually I spray these first and kind of let them soak a little bit while I'm doing the other part. I just didn't do that here. So our gaskets are nice and pliable. If they're real dry or shrunk up or broken or anything like that, by all means replace them. The Yamaha rubber gaskets are pretty durable, and if they feel nice and pliable, they haven't shrunk up, they mostly are always reusable most of the time. Okay, clean out our bowl. There's not a lot of passage in the Yamaha bowls. A lot of carburetors manufacturers will have jets in them and different passages that need to be cleaned out. These not so much. So we got our main body and our bowl clean. And carefully set your needle back down. And you're going to drop it into the opening. Take your set screw and run this one down by hand. You're going to want to flip them up and take a look at your floats. Make sure they're setting well. These are just as good, nice and level. And we take our bowl, and we're going to put our gasket back in it. If the gasket is not shrunk up, it should fit nicely back into the grooves. This one does. Okay, so let's check our orifice tube. Make sure that we're nice and clear. This one's very clear. I don't see any debris. But no matter what, you always blow it out to make sure. The taller end of it and the shorter end. The taller end will go into the carburetor facing the inside area and sticking out right there. I don't know if you can see it or not, but it sticks out there. Okay, on top of this we're going to have our larger jet. Make sure it's good and clear. If these are clogged up, you can use welding tip cleaners, wire, whatever you have to make sure that it's good and clean, because you need this carburetor to breathe. So that's going to go on top of our orifice tube. Tighten it down, don't over tighten it, snug it good. And we've got our small jet. That one as well passes all the way through on this model. There are some carburetors that do not pass all the way through, and they rely on the jetting to go through here. This 70 horse Yamaha goes all the way through, so if you're not seeing all the way through on yours, double check it. Okay, also our small jets. These are nice and clean on these. These carburetors are actually in really good shape. Like I said, the customer knows it's been sitting and he wants them clean before he runs this engine. So although that engine may have ran great out there possibly, just might find something that might have saved him a power head, so it's worth it. Alright, we'll run our jet back in. Tell you what, it's a lot easier to clean a set of carburetors than it is to count all the needle bearings as you're installing new pistons. cheaper too. Our rubber cap back on the top. This rubber cap gets pressed on the bottom of the bowl to stay in place. Okay, we're going to do our bowl now. Like I said, flip my carburetor upside down and I bring it to the bowl to keep my gasket in place and keep an eye on it. Flip it back over. Our screws. I'm going to tighten these up by hand, but I use my gun to just run them down to save some time. You'll know immediately when it's starting to bind or hit bottom. And although they may be tight, don't rely on that. You come through here and snug them. I do everything in an X pattern. It's most likely unnecessary. It's just a habit. Plastic bowl carbs, it's a very good habit. Okay, and we're going to put our top plate back in. We need to blow this out as well. There are passages all through it. That should be it. Okay, set this back down. Now each one of these plates has the same assembly here, but the middle carburetor has a screw on it going through these holes. It's the same plate, but it's a different carburetor. So this is your idle screw. You'll adjust the screw down or up to adjust your idle. I bring it all the way up while I'm sinking the carbs, and then I bring it down to where I need to be afterwards, and I'll show you that in the end. So again, top 3 screws. Seat them lightly. We got our air mixture screw. Take a look at the needle, make sure it's not damaged, flattened, broken off. It's a nice tip to it. Wipe it off. Let's put it back in. We're going to bring it to the bottom lightly. Don't crank on it. Bring it all the way down, and then you're going to back it out lightly on this one here. 1.5 turns and a hair over, which is pretty standard on most of these carburetors. Okay, so we're going to count it. Half turn, 1 turn, 1.5, just a hair over. Don't stress getting it dead on because it's going to be close enough, and you can adjust the engine afterwards if needed. Okay, so now on to our second carburetor. This one's a little more complex. This is the one with the choke enrichment system in there. I'm not going to get into pulling all of this apart. This choke enrichment system's working fine. Try not to blow a bunch of air through all these orifices and damage the diaphragm. Let's make sure we ain't got enough fuel in here. Okay, we're empty. Pull the bowl off. Same procedure as the last one. Okay, we take our bowl off. And do this, keep in mind there's a hose coming from the top to the bottom on this one. I actually pull this off of the top. Doesn't matter which side you pull it off of. That's the one I'm going to pull it from. Okay, from your bowl. There's our bowl. This one looks about as dirty as the other one. Not too bad. Alright. Pull our float. Make sure our needle stays with it. I'm going to spray a little bit of carb clean in this one, let it soak. And pull a rubber cap. It's going to be basically the same principle for all of these, so I'm going to speed it up a little bit and you guys can ride along. Okay, so I'm pretty happy with the way the carbs came out. Seems to be running nicely. Everything is adjusted. We are running very good. We're not getting hot, but what I am noticing is that we're seeping water from the cylinder head. And it's coming out of this water jacket gasket by the spark plugs. And it does have a bit of corrosion buildup around here. My advice would be to pull the cylinder head, clean out the water jackets, and put new gaskets on here to get that sealed up. I also did find the area in the steering ram which is seeping. It's right here. It's not that bad, but it is putting air in the system, and this ram is going to need to be resealed. This boat runs real fast for a small boat, and steering going out is a problem. Other than that, let's see, the battery is bad, and also he was talking about the gear case is leaking right here from the actual drain plug gasket itself. So I don't think there's any issues here till I actually drain this to find out whether or not the gear case is leaking, if there's any water in it or not. But we do need to pull that, change the gear oil, put 2 new seals in it. Might be time for a water pump as well. I'll have to look back in the records or ask him when the last time he's had a water pump. It's peeing water. It's not super great, but last time I got a water pump, it was very similar, and it even got a full kit. It's the way this engine seems to be. It doesn't piss a lot. Got a feeling it might be because of restrictions inside the cylinder head. That's why I'd also like to take it off. But my suggestions at this point would be a water pump, new gear oil, make sure there's no water in it. If not, then change both the drain plug seals, pull the cylinder head, clean that out, as well as the water jackets, 2 new gaskets here, a brand new battery, and a brand new fuel water separator. And I think this thing should be ready for the water again. That's where we're at right now. That ends this episode. That's the carburetors. I'm going to get the air box back on and button this up, let him know what my recommendations are, and see whether he wants to do them or not. You guys have a good evening. Please like and subscribe if you like boat repair videos, and most likely he's going to go with the repairs we need, and I'll have a separate video on this. This is a big deal back here, cleaning out these water jackets. I'm sure some people would like to see it, and I'm going to try to make a video for you. Have a good one.